to perform parametric tests such as Pearson's correlation, one-sample t-test, paired sample t-test, analysis of variance, and regression analysis, there are certain assumptions your data must satisfy in order for their results to be valid. And in SPSS, basic procedures are available to test whether your data meets the assumptions. So one of the basic important assumptions associated with all the parametric tests is that your dependent variable should be approximately normally distributed. That is, your data should be drawn from a population that is normally distributed so that your data is not biased. So in this video, I will be demonstrating how to test whether data is normally distributed or not using SPSS. This test will include the numerical and graphical methods. The numerical method consists of the Skewness and Kurtosis on one hand and the Kolmogorov Smirnov test and the Shapiro-Wilk test on the other hand, while the graphical method will consist of the histogram and the QQ plot. My name is Titocan and this is Titocan Mark Solutions, a YouTube channel for improving the knowledge of how to do things. Our data for this lesson is drawn from the age of 20 students that participated in a quiz competition, and the data consists of two variables: the age of the students, which is a dependent scale variable, and gender of the students, which is an independent nominal variable. This data is already loaded into SPSS. You can use the link I gave in the description section below to see my videos on Introduction to SPSS for beginners to learn how to load data into SPSS. Now, let's get started. Go to the menu bar and click Analyze. From the drop-down submenu, put your cursor on Descriptive Statistics, and from the drop-down options, click Explore to open the Explore dialog box. Here, our variables are in the box on the left. So, click on the dependent variable age and click the transfer arrow key to move it to the dependent list box on the right. Then, click the Statistics button to open the Statistics dialog box. Here, the descriptives box is checked already by default at 95% confidence interval for me. This default selection will produce the descriptive statistics of the variable, but you are only to concentrate on the skewness and the kurtosis as part of the numerical method of testing for normality. Then click Continue to close this dialog box. Now, click the button for Plot, and in the opened dialog box, uncheck the box for stem and leaf because you don't need that information for this test. Then, check the box for histogram. And this selection will produce histogram plot for visual judgment of the shape as one of the graphical methods of testing for normality. Under the box plot section, select the radio button for None, since we are not interested in the box plot for now. Then check the box for normality plot and tests. And this selection will produce a table of another numerical method of test of normality, which will consist of the Kolmogorov Smirnov test and the Shapiro-Wilk test. This selection will also produce the normal QQ plot as another graphical method of testing for normality. Then click Continue to close this dialog box, and then click OK to produce the results in the output window. From the case processing summary table, you can see that the size of our data is 20 and there is no missing data. In the descriptive table, the most important statistics here as regards the numerical test of normality are the skewness and kurtosis. For the assumption of normal distribution to be met, the skewness and kurtosis should be 0 or close to 0 regardless of the sign. So here in this table of results, the skewness is minus 0.007, while the kurtosis is minus 0.179. This means that the skewness and kurtosis are very close to 0, and we can therefore agree that the data is approximately normally distributed. In the table of test of normality, there are two types of numerical tests that can be applicable. They are the Kolmogorov Smirnov test and the Shapiro-Wilk test. The assumption of normal distribution will be met only if the p-value of Kolmogorov Smirnov test or Shapiro-Wilk test is not significant. That is, only if the p-value is greater than 0.05. Notably, in SPSS, the p-value of any test statistics is designated in SPSS table as SIG, that is XIG, as you can see here, meaning significance level. So in this table, the p-value for Kolmogorov Smirnov test is 0.200, while the p-value for Shapiro-Wilk test is 0.882, which in each case is greater than 0.05. That means the data is approximately normally distributed, and therefore the assumption is met. However, if your data is less than 50 observations, Shapiro-Wilk test will be most appropriate test to interpret because it is most sensitive, and yet it can also be applied to data as large as 2,000 observations. And because of this, Shapiro-Wilk test is the most commonly applied test of normality, and similarly, I will advise you in this lesson to always proceed to interpret the Shapiro-Wilk test of normality. Now, the histogram. By visual inspection of this histogram, we cannot conveniently judge whether it is normally distributed or not. So in this case, let's overlay a normal curve on the histogram. Double-click anywhere on the histogram plot, and in the chart editor dialog box that opens, click here for Show Distribution Curve. And because normal curve is the default property, it is immediately overlain, as you can see. Close the property dialog box and then close the chart editor, and immediately your original histogram is updated with the normal curve, as you can see. By visual inspection now, we can see the overlain normal curve looks relatively like a bell shape, and so we can now conveniently judge this histogram to have data that is approximately normally distributed. So with histogram, the assumption that the data is normally distributed is also met. The QQ plot is another graphical method of testing for normality. If the QQ plot of expected normal versus the observed value point are lying close to the fitted straight line like this, then it means the data is approximately normally distributed, and the assumptions that the data is normally distributed is therefore met. If the points of the QQ plot were to be exactly along the straight line, then the data would have been perfectly normally distributed. Whereas if the points were to be distributed zigzagly about the straight line, the distribution would have been skewed. Now let's include gender to the equation, which is the independent variable consisting of the male and female groups, and then test for normality again to see whether the data is at least approximately normally distributed by the factor or groupings. To do that, let's return to the Explore dialog box like this. In this dialog box, our initial selections are still intact, and you don't have to change any selection here. Now, move the gender to the factor list box. That is, click on the gender, then click the transfer arrow box to transfer the gender to the factor list box. Then click on the statistics button to confirm your selection, and after that, click on the plot button to also confirm your selection. Our selection here are still intact. Then click OK, and new results are produced in the output window, as you can see. The interpretations here remains the same, except that the test of normality is now done for the male and female factors in the group, and the numerical values are now different, while the graphical plots depict similar outcome. Now, we can see from the case processing summary table that the size of the data is no longer 20 but 10 each for male and female, and there is no missing data. In the descriptives table, the skewness and kurtosis for male is 0.158 and minus 0.805 respectively, while the skewness and kurtosis for female age is 0.825 and 0.534 respectively. By this result, the skewness and kurtosis for male and female age are tenable. regardless of their signs because they are close to zero. So using the skewness and kurtosis, the assumption of normality is met. In the test of normality table, the p-value for Kolmogorov Smirnov test is 0.200 for male and 0.200 for female, while for Shapiro-Wilk test, the p-value is 0.813 for male and 0.441 for female. Since Shapiro-Wilk test is recommended, the p-value of Shapiro-Wilk test of normality is not significant for the male and female age, since their p-value is greater than 0.05. Therefore, the dependent variable age is approximately normally distributed for male and female. For the male and female histogram plot, let's overlay normal curves as usual. The shape of the normal curves on the histogram plot for male and female look relatively like a bell shape, so the dependent variable for the male and female is approximately normally distributed respectively, so the assumption is met. The normal QQ plot for male and female age shows that the expected normal and the observed value points are close to the fitted line, so the dependent variable for male and female are also approximately normally distributed, and the assumption is therefore met also. So generally, using the numerical methods such as the skewness and kurtosis, as well as the Shapiro-Wilk test, and the graphical methods such as the histogram plot and the QQ plot, I have been able to demonstrate how to check whether your data is normally distributed or not. In all of the cases in this lesson, the numerical tests were not significant, and the graphical test also showed that the data is approximately normally distributed, and therefore the assumption of normality has been met by the data. However, if the test of normality of your data is significant, that is, if the assumption that your dependent variable is approximately normally distributed is violated, the best option to do would be either to transform your data using various algorithms such as taking square root or log transformations of the data so that the shape of your distribution becomes normally distributed. Or you will have to choose the non-parametric test, which does not require the assumption of normality for your analysis. The associated non-parametric tests applicable when the test of normality assumption is violated are highlighted in this table for personal research. Right now, we have come to the end of this video, and I hope you were able to follow the demonstrations and also understood the interpretations. If you like this video and you want to see more video content like this, please give this video a thumbs up and please subscribe to my YouTube channel so that we begin to send you notification every time I publish new and useful content. Subscription is free. Thanks for your time and subscription, and I hope to see you again in my next video. Bye.